Hey, what's going on, everyone? Thank you for coming to watch. I've got you guys an update on this big winter storm that's going to be moving through the Eastern U.S. You can see it's currently moving through the Midwest. Right now, it's going to be continuing to dump a few inches of snow over some areas across portions of Ohio and then into the interior Northeast. We're going to see a few inches of snow once again to those areas that just saw a few inches of snow from that more minor winter storm that moved in just a few days ago. All right, so some pretty active times are coming ahead. I've also got you guys an update on where that cold air is going to be and what may happen as we get a little bit farther into January. So starting out here, take a look at our current radar. You can see we've got two things going on right now. We had talked about last night that winter storm that we are tracking that's going to be moving into the Eastern U.S. tomorrow. Well, you can see it on radar right now. It's actually bringing snow pretty far south. We're seeing snow as far south as northern Tennessee, it looks like right now. Heavy snow over the mountains of Kentucky into West Virginia. This is going to be heavy at times for areas maybe as far east as DC maybe, and then southern PA. Just getting into tonight, and then definitely tomorrow we'll see that more widespread snow enter the region. We actually do have some snow flurries, some bands of snow that have made it to the coastline. That's just that that prefrontal energy that's been moving and just flying around this area. All right. So that's not really the beginning of your storm. The main portion of your storm is going to be coming in tomorrow morning. Then we can see we also do have a storm moving in to the Midwest. We've been just seeing rounds of rainstorms, and this has been bringing a lot of mountain snow. All right, there's a lot of cold air nearby as well. I'm not going to talk about that in today's update, but definitely tomorrow I'll try and get some information on that in for you guys. All right, but yeah, it looks like we are pretty much calm for the most part. Other than that, all right. So we move on here to our alerts. You can see we're very, very active right now. We'll start out with our winter storm moving in. We've got winter weather advisories for millions of Americans here. You can start it all the way up from eastern Montana, going all the way down through South Dakota, then into eastern Nebraska, through most of Iowa, and then northern Illinois, northern Indiana, and then all of Ohio, Kentucky. You can see also eastern Tennessee, western North Carolina, all the way up through Western Virginia. Now, West Virginia is currently pretty much all under a winter storm warning. Going into PA, you got winter storm warnings and winter weather advisories in that purple shade. In that pink shade into New Jersey, this is also including DC. Or I should say the purple shade is including DC, but the pink shade including Philadelphia and portions of New Jersey. You got winter storm warnings. And yeah, so Philadelphia may end up with a nice few, 3 to 6 inches, and then you also do have winter weather advisories extending into Long Island and New York City, that area. All right. So, surrounding areas from that, all right, this is in that wind chill advisory. All right, this is basically in this light blue shade. You've got wind chill advisories going all the way up from northern or all of North Dakota, really, central and eastern portions of Montana, through the Dakotas, through the north central United States, the upper Midwest, going into Kansas, Nebraska, Missouri, Illinois, northern Arkansas, Tennessee, Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, guys. It's a widespread area that we're still seeing with that cold. That second final Arctic blast is coming in. I don't think it's going to be as significant as that one with all the blizzards that came in earlier in January, but I think this will definitely still be significant. We're probably going to have more wind chill warnings prompted for this area, all right? So, we can see in this purple shade here, this is more dark purple, we have hard freeze warnings that's going out for portions of central Mississippi through central Alabama. South of that, all right, that's where we've got hard freeze watches that's going out for portions of southeastern Texas through Louisiana, Gulf Coast of Mississippi, and then through southern Alabama. That's for those areas that we're watching for a very intense cold snap where you're going to see a period, very just, quick period of extremely cold temperatures, dangerous cold, but it's going to lead for all of those all the precipitation that's still on the ground to freeze over. And that's actually what we're seeing for many areas across the United States. Let me tell you guys today something funny. I actually, the snow, it's been very slippery at my house. We've got about 2 inches on the ground right now. None of it has melted. And so I'm walking out and I'm about to get in the car to go to school, and I slip and I slide all the way down the driveway. It's crazy, guys. It was hilarious. It kind of hurt, but it was just kind of amazing how that snow can change over to ice, and it can actually be very dangerous. All right. Um, We've got wind advisories going out for central Oklahoma, then a few scattered winter weather advisories and winter storm warnings up in the Pacific Northwest. All right, so we look at now your north central United States. We're looking at that big winter storm that's coming in. Nothing too major. I'm watching for definitely some substantial snow totals. But I don't think we're going to see any, like blizzard or anything with this. But here are your beginning stages of the storm. We'll take this is where we are about an hour ago. The NAM wasn't really picking up on any of that snow, but watch as we go from 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. The snow really gets going, and by 10 p.m., which is in about 20 minutes from when I'm starting this video, you can see we've got that low coming up from and through the southeast. All right, we talked about the southeast yesterday, how you guys are going to see that rainfall. That's moving out tonight, so we're not going to be mentioning you guys, but you definitely got some heavy to moderate snowfall moving over portions of Kentucky. That will most likely continue to West Virginia late hours of tonight. So if you're going to bed about 10 o'clock tonight or so, I'm not sure or 11 o'clock, you may go to bed to some light to moderate snowfall in West Virginia. All right. On the other hand, you've got that second, more western piece of energy that's phasing with this low pressure. That's moving also off to the east. And you've got a lot of snow. This is just, light to moderate snow moving over portions of Illinois, northern Missouri, and then eastern portions of Iowa. So really, it doesn't look too bad for the Midwest. Just a few inches. Most of you guys are probably going to see about a dusting to an inch of snow. But then this really gets going. We can actually see that heavy snow enters West Virginia, and then by the middle of the night tonight, as that low continues to move with the jet stream, with that cold air coming down behind it. Remember, you got northern stream energy, which means basically that you have a lot of cold air feeding into the system, and it's also pushing that system at the same time. So that cold air is coming out of the north, moving down south into that system. You can actually see these lines here, these little isobars, these gray lines here. You can see they're moving in that north to south direction. That shows you where the cold air stream is moving. But you're gonna see this storm really just get its act together. It's low. The low isn't strong, all right, but I think at this point we may see a strengthening in your upper level jet, your mid to upper level jet, all right. And so you may see a quick period of heavy snow for, I would say, areas of either West Virginia or Kentucky in the basically any time in the morning hours of tomorrow. So you may be waking up to heavy snow around the Ohio Valley, but I'm also watching for this. This is interesting. We see actually we'll stop it here. This is 3 in the morning tomorrow, so I apologize. I meant to say by this is the middle of the night here. All right, this is the middle of the night here, so apologize about what I said about the Ohio Valley. So by the middle of the night tonight, you guys will start to see the heavy snow that is because of that the jet becoming stronger. That's going to be impacting the areas of the Ohio Valley the middle of the night tonight, not tomorrow morning. We'll see what it looks like tomorrow morning once we get there. All right, but we'll take this out to a few more hours out. Here we go, 3 in the morning tomorrow morning. All right, notice this little blue line, this little squiggly blue line. That is lake effect snow, and I'll tell you guys why. All right. So what's going to be happening with this system is you're going to have that cold air stream coming down from the north, and I think that if we see some of that, if we see the winds push off of the water strong enough, and just the lower level jet, if it becomes strong enough, and then obviously it will interact with the Great Lakes there, I think that could build a recipe for maybe a few hours, all right, of heavy snow off the coast of Michigan or Wisconsin, either or. But that could most likely extend into extreme northwestern Indiana. So I want to watch out for that, guys. I think that we're going to see some pretty heavy snowfall in those areas before the storm exits the region. But this is what you're going to be waking up to if you're in the Ohio Valley. Probably light to moderate snowfall. but the most of the snow that you'll see will be pulling out by 9 in the morning tomorrow morning. But you'll still see snow if you're in Ohio, obviously PA, but then even into West Virginia, you'll still see Kentucky and West Virginia, you'll still see snow as late as late tomorrow morning. All right, so then that's basically it. And you're gonna see high pressure, very high pressure with that second cold blast coming in. Notice how this is a 504 line or a 1040 line here. All right, this is basically showing you where the cold air is coming in from. These blue lines, that's your cold front. All right, you can see it's coming down with that high pressure. All right, so basically you're just going to see very cold, dry air kind of replace the system that's moving out, or what I should say is moving in right now. All right, so totals. All right, with your snowfall. All right, I apologize about that ad. Gosh, guys, I mean, I've been getting some pretty ridiculous ads. Usually I don't, talk about them. I don't mind them. All right. I know some of you guys actually have put in the comments that you'd rather me not have the ads. It's just I need it takes a lot of time to edit videos, and usually I just do these on the fly and I just upload them, all right, off my screen recorder. But I mean, if I were to edit these to the point where there wouldn't be ads, it would just take too long, and I don't think I would be nearly as active with uploading than I am right now. So we're just gonna keep it how it is now. I apologize for those of you that really don't like the ads. So uh if I don't know, just that's how we're going to be rolling. But anyways, getting back to our snow total. So you could see just about a dusting to an inch. Maybe some areas will see 1 to 2 inches. You could probably see a dusting to a coating to an inch for areas of northern Missouri, but could actually maybe even see up to an inch in St. Louis. All right, but through central and southern sections of Iowa, about 1 to 2 inches. Same thing for northern Illinois, central Illinois, about 1 to 2 inches. Very nice and simple forecast, guys. That blizzard really got me just cooking there. That was crazy how much snow I had to cover there. All right, but central and northern Indiana. Notice here, northwestern Indiana. That's that tiny pocket of the tiny band of lake effect snow. Well, here it is, and the signal for that's pretty strong. About 8 to 10 inches if you're in that purple shade. So if you're right up there in a northwestern Indiana, like specifically right on the Great Lakes, if your town is on the coast of the Great Lakes, if you want to put it that way, all right, you're in great shape for definitely an additional 5. In this case, it would be like 7-8 inches of snow. All right, but the rest of Indiana probably 1 to 2 inches. But if you're in the northern side of Indiana, I would say 2 to 4 inches, what you could expect. Now, southern sections of Michigan, obviously, if you're towards the Great Lakes, you'll be influenced on your totals, raising them higher. All right, but you can see 1 to 2 inches for southern sections of Michigan. Into Ohio, we're talking about 2 to 4 inches, pretty substantial winter storm over here. But I would say central Ohio, you may end up with a high end amount, which would be 4 to 5 inches. And we can see into Kentucky and West Virginia. I don't think the snow is going to be too heavy. I think it could be heavy. And we saw that. I talked about how with the jet stream, the upper level jet could get quite active. All right, just for about an hour or two. All right, as the storm moves over this region, that could intensify that snow, and we actually see a signal for about 2 to 4 inches, maybe up to 5 inches for central section and eastern sections of Kentucky. Now, if you're in West Virginia here, I mean, West Virginia is going to get a pretty good winter storm out of this. The NAM is going for 10 inches of snow in West Virginia. That's a lot of snow. That's a substantial winter storm. These mountainous regions, upper elevations, everybody, if you're in central West Virginia, just, buckle up. Get ready for a big winter storm. I know there's a lot of winter lover fans, winter weather lovers out here. Gosh, I cannot speak tonight. Apologize. But I think a lot of people will be pleased by how much snow we'll see. And then if you're off to the borders, if you're like a little bit more extended into West Virginia, you'll still see that 2 to 6. I would say that 3 to 6 inch range, but really it's right in the middle of the state where you're going to see the highest totals. All right, so yeah, it's going to take care of your of the Midwest. And we take a look now at the Northeast, maybe the biggest area that's going to, or the area that's going to get hit the hardest by the system. So we see what happens going to bed tonight. All right, you got snow moving into the region for the interior Northeast. But you've got a lot of northern stream energy coming in. Remember that. All right, your cold air, by the way, there's nothing to worry about with cold air unless you're all the way down to the Carolinas. The cold air, the warm air line here, or the cold front. The line of the 32-degree line is what I should say. All right, that's where it's going to be. All right, so you have no problem with this storm with the low moving like this. All right, there's no problem with that, with having snow in this area, and then obviously into southern New England as well. That cold air is just too strong for warm air to retreat back up to the not retreat, but kind of um, ridge back up into the east. It's the cold air is just too strong, so it's gonna push down, and the system's going to be behind the cold air. All right, so that's what's gonna be happening. So we get into just the middle of the night. This storm is quickly dancing across the region. We already see snow start to break out across portions of PA. Northern Virginia may see a period of very wet, heavy snow about 3 a.m. tonight, and then we can see into Ohio. It'll be snowing in Philadelphia, but West Virginia as well, guys. This will be probably, I think 3 a.m. is going to be a big time hour for our folks near West Virginia, Southern PA, Northern Virginia, Ohio. This entire area, I would say, I'll circle it, guys. I think right around 3 a.m. This is probably going to be the most active hour of the system. Right around 3 a.m., you're going to see pretty heavy snow, moderate to heavy snow in this area. Before that shifts our attention, our focus off to the east. Now, it may look like this system is breaking apart. I don't like that. I don't like this run um, of the FV3 high resolution model. You may be wondering why we're not looking at the NAM. Well, I really don't like what the NAM is showing. The NAM is not showing enough snow for areas that are going to receive snow. But I don't like the fact that the FV3 high resolution model is also showing the storm breaking apart. It won't, but that's only for 1 hour. The FV3 high resolution model wants a little bit more snow on the coastline here, which would go all the way down the coast of all the way up from basically Long Island down through Maryland and Delaware, the coastal Delmarva, and then by 9 a.m. tomorrow, you may be waking up, if you wake up on a little bit on the late side, you may be waking up to light to moderate, maybe heavy at times of snow for portions of New Jersey, Long Island, and then obviously back into PA. I think that this is going to be a lot more widespread, a lot more heavier than what this is showing. All right, so even if it doesn't show snow at this point, into central PA and then southern New England, not seeing that heavy snow yet. All right, I think this will be heavy. So, I would say about 9 a.m. tomorrow, this will be really bringing a lot of snow into southern New England. We can see here by 11 a.m., this is going to be midway point for our folks in southern New England, New York City, Long Island, Connecticut. You guys will all stay as snowfall. It looks like now all of New Jersey will stay as snow. Some models earlier, like about yesterday, were hinting at some rainfall on the New Jersey coast. That has changed completely, and we actually have winter storm warnings in this area now. So, we're getting to afternoon, all right, mid-afternoon tomorrow. We'll still see moderate to heavy snow all around southern New England, through New Jersey, Long Island, New York City. And it takes a long time for this to pull out, and then things may get interesting on the backside. We may see an upper level low try and take over the system, because look at this low. It's way off the coast here. So what are you going to do with this energy? Well, I think it's going to try and form another low, and we may see snow squalls. All right, snow squalls. Remember, these little tiny bubbles, pockets that you see here, these are what could be snow squalls. And what we'll see is more widespread. Maybe this will actually, I think it's out of the picture, but I think that it would be possible that these could actually line up together and we'd see just one big snow squall line form. But they're just little tiny, I would say they're just, they're just snow squalls. They're little tiny outbursts of snow that will be coming through this area with that upper level low, replacing the low that's off the coast as we get into the evening hours of tomorrow. And then that storm moves out. All right, so yeah, that's an active run. That's an active storm coming up. Heavy snow for a lot of areas. And let's get right into our totals here. All right, so we'll start out with New York City. All right, New York City has just it's been great for New York City. A lot of people, I'm saying it's great because a lot of pretty much everybody wants to know New York City, and so here you go. All right, just the forecast has been just increasing a lot when it comes to snowfall here. All right, so we'll start out in Long Island. Montauk going for 2.3. West Hampton going for a 2.5. I think the Hamptons will probably receive about 3 inches. I think that the snow that the signal for higher totals on the south shore of Long Island that's been shifted over to the city, and I think now the city will see that higher total. But around Syosset, Islip, about 3 inches of snow. So I would say you could definitely get lucky. Somebody could get lucky out here, and you could get maybe up to 5 inches. I know it's the high end amount, but it's definitely possible. Maybe 4 inches, I should say. But here you go, JFK Airport, New York City, going for about 3 inches of snow. Newark, New Jersey, 3.1. Paramoose, 2.9. West Milford going for 2.6. Notice how our totals are getting a little bit lower because this is going to be the area that's specific that we may have to focus in on for that heavier band as the system moves off the coast. Now, if you're going into just southern New York State and then into Connecticut, you're not going to be dealing with that much snow. About an inch for areas south of Hartford, so Bridgeport, New Haven, New London, just over an inch of snow. Waterbury, East Haddam, Norwich, about a coating to an inch of snow. All right, but you'll still see an inch or two if you're in White Plains, New City, Cold Spring, and Middletown in southern New York State. Just not as much as New York City, Long Island, just the New York City metro area. All right, so that takes care of Long Island. We now look at wow, where are we going? Hold on, everybody. All right, now we're back. All right, so now we look at New Jersey. All right, this is maybe going to be the hardest area other than West Virginia. All right, I've been watching this graphic that has been changing a lot, but now the coastal regions may receive the heaviest snow. All right, so starting out in northern New Jersey, about Sussex. I think Sussex 3 to 4 inches of snow. All right, so we're already starting out higher than New York City, so this is going to be a focused in area. We've got winter storm warnings up for a lot of these areas, but Parsippany 4 inches. All right, Somerville, we're getting down to central New Jersey, down towards the I-95 corridor. So Somerville going for 4 to 6 inches. But look at this, Trenton. Trenton has been changing a little bit. Trenton, I think, is increasing now 4 to 6 inches. And then Long Branch going for 4 to 6. But you see this yellow here? That's right around the Toms River, Long Branch area. Guys, I just want to point out that these areas yesterday, I think these areas were only about, 2 to 4 inches. Look at this, 4 to 6 inches. And then that yellow shade I just mentioned, all right, that's the 6 to 8 inch range. So you may actually end up with this area becoming the jackpot area. And then we can see, similar totals maybe as far west as Philadelphia, where we can actually see a little tiny pocket of yellow, which is 6 to 8 inches. All right, but Toms River, Long Branch going for 4 to 6 inches. And then if you're on the southern coast of New Jersey, still 1 to 2 inches, but Vineland going for 4 to 6. Everybody in New Jersey, as long as you're not on the southern coastline, really could see up to 6 inches. But Wilmington, this is going to Delaware now, but Wilmington going for 4 to 6 inches. Dover going for 3. Bethany Beach just going for up to 1 inch. Easton, this is in Maryland, going for 1 to 2 inches. But now we go into PA, Mount Pocono, 4 inches. Allentown, 4 to 6. Reading, 4 to 6 as well. And really everybody in this general area could definitely top off with 6 inches. But I'm watching the New Jersey coastline. It's going to be interesting how this plays out. But I think there's a chance that somebody out there could actually end up with 6 to 8 inches of snow. We'll see what the current forecast, what the forecast will look like by tomorrow morning. All right. So now we shift our focus here to Western PA. Now we're going into Ohio as well. We'll start out near Oil City, Clarion or Clarion. All right, about 4 to 6 inches. Punxsutawney going for 4 to 6. I think these totals have been pretty much sitting as the same, so I don't think anything's really changed. Although Ohio's forecast has ramped up a little bit, we'll talk about that in a little. We got Newcastle 3-4, Butler 4-6, Indiana going for 4-6, Pittsburgh, Washington, Uniontown. Uniontown's going for 6-8. Look at that, 6 to 8 inches. And notice this. Look at this. You got this in this orange shade here. That's 8 to 12 inches. All right, and 12. Remember, 12 is a foot. I know all of you guys know that, but if anybody gets 8 inches, that's considered a major winter storm. That's going to be riding the I-76 corridor. This just pocket or band of snow that's looking a little bit heavier, but Uniontown going for 6 to 8. Now, for northern West Virginia, we're going for, in Morgantown, 4 to 6 inches. New Martinsville going for 4 to 6. Davis going for right around a foot of snow. Here it is, guys. That signal it's screaming, guys, for a foot of snow for areas just to the north and east, just to the north and east of dead central Kentucky. All right, and then into Ohio, we're talking about 4 to 6 in Salem. Near Wheeling, that would be in West Virginia, or yes, West Virginia, 3 to 4 inches, but New Martinsville, right on the border, 4 to 6. Cambridge going for 3 to 4. Zanesville going for 3. All right, so I would say areas along the I-70 corridor may see about 3 to 6 inches of snow. So yeah, these totals have they've risen the past 24 hours, I think, just by an inch or so. I think that these are pretty accurate forecasts, and obviously, guys, these are the professionals. It's the National Weather Service. These are very accurate totals, and any graphic that I show you guys, these sources that I look at are they're great. All right, these are very good weather products that I show you guys. So yes, you should definitely put your trust and your money in this forecast or on this forecast. All right. But taking a look now, we look at West Virginia. Here we go. This is an area I've been watching a lot. Just an area I'm kind of rooting for because I know a lot of people enjoy the snow that they get out here, and they get a lot of snow. All right, we'll start out near New Lexington, 3 to 4. Athens going for 2 to 3. Jackson about 3 inches. Galliopolis, all right, 2 to 3. Huntington 3 to 4. Grayson 1 to 2. That's a little bit off to the west here, into West Virginia. Now, if you're down here into south central West Virginia, and Logan going for 4 to 6, but Grundy going for 3 to 4. Now, look at this. You're closer to that pocket of the higher totals if you're near Beckley, Beakley. All right, but right in the middle, Charleston 4 to 6. That may change. I think that may get a little bit higher by tomorrow. But Ripley going for 4 to 6, 4 to 6 in Spencer, Parkersburg. I think I mentioned you guys 3 to 4. Middleburn 4 to 6, Clarksburg 4 to 6, and now here we go. The big guns come out. 4 to 6 in Winston. Now Flatwood's going for 6 to 8. Somersville. All right, I think this I don't know if this changed since yesterday, but we're still going for about 8 to 12 inches. I think you're going to get the high end amount. All right, you got winter storm warnings up in this area. All the models have been agreeing strongly on this, on some heavy snow setting up, and I talked about 3 a.m. as that upper level low strengthens. All right, you may actually have a period of heavy snow by the middle of the night tonight. So that's what we'll see here. Snowshoe going for 8 to 12, but if you're just to the northwest of there, you may get a little bit over a foot of snow, and that is where you get just a very major winter storm. So we will see a major winter storm for some areas. It's just not, everybody's going to see the same amount, obviously. All right. So that takes care of your winter storm. Now, what's next? It's the next question that we got to figure out, and we'll talk about it here. All right. So, all right. We're talking about this big cold blast that has been coming in. We'll see it here. Yeah, look at that. That was the story, January 15th, which that was 3 days ago. So that was, what was that, Monday? Yeah. All right. So this was a story Monday. This was everybody Monday afternoon. You had temperatures that were about 30 to 40 degrees below historical average in Kansas. All right. So if you, on average, out in Kansas in this time of the year, about 35 degrees, I would say, you're at 0 degrees for your high. That's insane, guys. All right. But notice how you see that cold air start to exit the region, but it's still in the eastern U.S. Now you see a little bit of a ridge starting to form in the west, and you may be like, "Oh, thank God, the warm air is coming back." Well, I think that's just going to be for the Southwest. All right, you've got a lot of warm air coming up from Mexico. This is pumping into the Southwest. This may affect storms up in the Pacific Northwest. That's going to make them stronger because you got a lot of moisture coming in from all directions, coming in from the Pacific, from the Southwest, but from the Pacific, from just the Pacific moving with the system, and up from Mexico. All right, so there's a lot of moisture and warm air being packed into that area, all right, or that region, I should say. But there's a lot of cold air coming down um, on our heels here, and we can see by tomorrow this cold air will more widespread enter the region, and we can see now the north central United States once again seeing that heavy snow and the colder temperatures, and then down into Texas will probably return back to in the 20s and then the teens, looks like, because this is once again life-threatening cold for areas of the upper Midwest. This will most likely come into play by this weekend, and then that cold will move into the eastern U.S. But it looks like after that we're gonna get warm again, and that's gonna be the first time we've seen real warmth. I wouldn't say, well, like, it's not going to feel warm, just above average temperatures in a while. All right. But if you look at the North American side of things, notice how we see this pattern change. Look at this. We go from warm air staying farther north. We're going in the extreme northern, just top of the world here. And we're seeing more of these above average temperatures hanging up here. Your polar vortex is now pushing cold air down now into the United States. Now this is all high pressure, and it's blocking here. This is a blocking ridge that's setting up in Canada. This is a negative NAO phase. We were in a negative oscillation phase. All right, which basically means that we see high pressure blocking up into eastern Canada, and that cold air is just it's coming right in. So notice how that was the pattern that we're still in by really right now, and then into this weekend. But then notice how that cold air starts to return back up into Canada, and that warm air comes back down to us. And now we're going to be above average once again, with some spots that may get a little bit colder here and there, but I think we're going to get pretty warm for the rest of January. And I'm not watching for anything else because at this point we're very far out, but really doesn't. There's no major signal for any big cool down after we're done with this final Arctic blast. All right. So now looking at your surface models here, the GFS, we'll look at if there's any upcoming system. I'm not watching any in particular. There's one coming up though in a few days that I'm watching. All right, so I guess I am watching one. All right, but here it comes. You start to see. I've been seeing this a lot. The GFS showing a weak one, bring moisture up from the Gulf of Mexico. Maybe some thunderstorms in the deep south. I'm watching for a little bit, maybe even an ice storm, slight ice storm for areas of Missouri up into the Midwest. This will be impacting by Monday, so we'll get into the details on this soon. But it looks like this may be a pretty good ice storm for a lot of you guys out in the Midwest. We'll have to talk about ice accumulations on that. I don't think we're going to see severe weather with this, but there's a chance for some thunderstorms in the deep south. And then we start to see a lot of snow on the north side, with maybe some lake effect snow as this low continues pushing up into Canada. But it's very weird. You have a very weak low, but bring a lot of precipitation. You got a 1,017 millibar low, which isn't even really low pressure at all. But you've got a lot of heavy snow over Michigan and Wisconsin. So that's a little bit of a tricky but weird system there that we'll watch. Then maybe a second one coming up behind it. Now we're very far out at this point, so we don't know what's going to happen exactly. But there's really not been any major storm signal other than that first one, which isn't even major at all. So yeah, it looks like we're gonna calm down a lot. Luckily, as we end of January, but that always means that February, if we sign off January with very unactive weather, that means February is just gonna get very active. So that's in the very far extended long term. All right. but that's just something that I think is going to happen. All right. So that's going to wrap up this video. Thank you all for coming to watch. I'll see you guys next one. So, yeah, so stay tuned for more future updates. All right. I'll probably be posting another update maybe tomorrow. All right. Let me know what you guys get with those totals out there. If you're in the Northeast or in the Midwest, I'd love to know how much snow you're seeing and just what the current conditions that are in your area. All right. So I really appreciate it, guys, for 500 subscribers. That's crazy. I'll probably make an appreciation video sometime this weekend. I just gotta get a chance. All right. It's just crazy to hit 500 subscribers. So I thank you all so much for that. All right. Let me make myself a little bit bigger. All right. So yeah. It's gonna wrap it up. All right, I don't really have anything else to say. So have a great weekend, guys. All right, I'll just catch you guys in the next video. So thank you all for coming to watch. And I'll